The Way Moves, a Chameleon recording act, have their second album called Favor and Disgrace. They're at Peabody's Down Under. I'm Tom Cum and you're watching Ultra Meek. These are the Way Moves.
Hello.
And these are Skid Marks and Dave Jordan and Larry. Bears. Hi guys, welcome to Cleveland.
Good to be here.
And this is And Company.
And then, oh, I'm sorry, this is Steve. He's
Sound guy slash
sound guy extraordinaire. And
he's the man behind the sound we have today. Instrumental.
that's great. Speaking of the sound you have today, the new album Favor and Disgrace is a
Major smash.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the new album? As far as the, you were going for this organic sound, big guitars.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the album and making it in the studio.
Well, we went
Dave
out.
made it. He'll tell you about it.
But Dave Jordan joined us. Spike Lee would say, no, it's not really. It was all of our doings. We met up with a guy named Brian McGee, who was a producer, engineer in Long Island. He's worked on Rolling Stones projects and stuff with the Saints and the Cult, and obviously demonstrated his ability to get real good feel in the studio and not be too concerned with tweaking knobs too much, because we like to work rather organically. And we hooked up with him, went to Long Island for 5 or 6 weeks and laid tracks, and then took it out to Los Angeles, mixed it, listened to it, and then remixed it.
And liked it.
And then threw it in the album.
So did you
Heard it, liked it.
Thought about it.
Did you go out looking
Liked it.
for Brian, or?
It's weird how that happened, because he had come to see us a few years ago in Chicago, and my best friend's band was doing an album with Mike Chapman producing. Brian was the engineer in that project. And so these guys got back into town, our friends in this band, and knew we were looking for a producer. In fact, one of the guys in our band is brothers with my best friend. So we got together, the night he came back, and he said, listen, you'll never believe who we worked with, and he wants to work with you. So I called him. We were looking for a producer, because the original guy we had sort of bailed on us. He had to do some of his own commitments. Called up Brian one day and said, Brian, what are you doing? He goes, I love producing. And it just kind of happened real quick after that.
Okay. And now you have two guitarists, and some of your influences are, say, the Allman Brothers. Now, are you doing like the same thing with the dual leads there? Or, no, they're not an influence, but it's it's a sort of part of your past.
It doesn't really apply. I mean, if you grew up in the 70s, you listen to the Allman Brothers and you listen to Aerosmith and you love Led Zeppelin.
That's the way it was, and we liked it.
We loved it. No, I would say, we're copping an Allman Brothers licks it out. I don't really think their approach has a lot to do with ours.
It used to be a cover band years ago, and they did like Grateful Dead, Allman Brothers,
Well,
long time ago.
what I was wondering if you incorporated like the
dual
double
leads?
guitar
No,
leads
no.
things or anything like
Sorry,
that.
sorry to blow your theory out of the water.
But they do trade off on leads.
Do they?
I'm
Yes.
thinking of like dual triangle players or something.
Well, that would be
innovative.
Cool. Or maybe dual drummers like the Outlaws or something
Steve,
like that.
anything you care to add at this point?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's good to know.
That was Steve. He's the sound man extraordinaire. Now, I've also heard a term here. I read your bio, and there's this interesting term. Your music is laden with duality, and I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe you could explain that to me.
It's got a little bit of favor, a little bit of disgrace.
Yeah.
Duality.
I get it.
It's like a salt and pepper thing.
And laden means mixed in. Or I'm thinking of ladle, the kitchen utensils. I don't know what I'm talking about. Larry, can you bail me out here?
Yeah, he really doesn't know what he's talking about. That's the bottom line.
I think we chose that name. We needed somehow to tie in the fact that there are loud songs and quiet songs. There's songs about sex, and there's songs about love. There's songs about spirituality, and there's songs that have a more earthy, organic tone to them. We've sort of tried, to develop this rather, dynamic approach to music where we just don't want to be one thing. I mean, a lot of the bands that I grew up loving, I love them because they weren't just one thing. They weren't just a band that played a song and did, 9 other reincarnations of the same thing on a record. We wanted to spread out a little bit. And there's some very dynamic and wide-ranging tastes in the band, and we wanted to incorporate that into the whole. And sometimes when you do that, you tend to get things that somebody could consider polar opposites, which I don't think is necessarily bad, but it is a duality. But I think, you know, human beings are sort of, you know, walking dualities, walking, living, breathing dualities. I mean, think about it. I mean, there's things that you love, things that you hate. You know, there's people you love, people you can't stand to be with. You know, and your thoughts every day. You know, you have a very wide range of reactions if you're a human being, and I think it's a rather natural thing to want to express yourself in ways that, you know, that sometimes conflict with each other.